Marriage Pinnacle's 1 year anniversary. Chat from the Peak.
Chat from the Peak. We are 1 year old.
We've had seasons where we just feel like, oh, nothing's working. I'm setting goals and I'm not getting anywhere. Yeah. And there could be reasons for that.
Mm-hmm. We want us to set up our year right so that you know where the goal, you know where the finish line is, and you know the steps that you need to take to get there.
Yeah. Welcome to
Marriage Pinnacles, Chats from the Peak,
where God's favorites link up.
My name is Dr. Lara.
My name is Memi.
And this is Marriage Pinnacles season 2.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year, Peak Seekers!
So excited.
Ooh,
2025 in the building.
It is 2025.
That is insane.
We are here.
So you mean to tell me 2000 was 25 years ago?
No, that's crazy.
What is happening?
That is crazy.
I remember Y2K vividly.
No, vividly. When they thought the world was going to end.
I was in church like this, like, God, please, I'm too young. God, please don't let it end. God,
There's
please.
life to live. There's life to
God,
live.
Please. And then I was looking around at 1201 like
what's happening? I was like, let me look outside. Maybe something else happened outside. Yeah, girl. No, all types of things went through my head.
Yeah.
I thought the rapture was going to happen.
I really, look. And then that was back when Left Behind was big.
Oh, my God. I was reading the books.
I read every book.
Yeah, scared straight.
Scared straight. I was like, dear God, I never want to be left behind, God. Please, God, let me go with them on the first round, God, please. Guys. Like, you walk in the house, you can't find your mom. He'd be like, God, please.
God, running, looking at the house.
God, please, I'm not ready.
Sorry, we're not going to digress, but it is 2025, guys.
2025. Woo!
We are here. We have made it. Thank you guys for rocking with us season 1. It is season 2.
Season 2.
And we
Our
are so
seasons
excited.
are a year long. Don't judge us.
Don't judge us.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Y'all gonna love it and rock with us, period. So 2025.
And before you go, this is Marriage Pinnacle's 1 year anniversary. Chat from the Peak.
Chat from the Peak. We are 1 year old.
Of the podcast.
Of the podcast. Yes. 2025. This is literally our anniversary.
Yeah.
Do you know what today is? It's our anniversary. You don't understand. We happy. We're happy.
We're excited.
Like, we made it. We were consistent. We put out episodes. We did our thing. And we are here. And we just excited to welcome y'all to another year. For you guys to get it right, get on track, do all of the things.
Yes.
So if you've been here for that long introduction of us being excited about season 2, we are Marriage Pinnacles, Chats from the Peak, and this is an extension of our platform, Marriage Pinnacle, where we talk about all things marriage, relationships, staying on track, climbing and reaching the pinnacle of your marriage. And on Chats from the Peak, we do it from a clinical lens, a cultural lens, and a little bit of a life experience.
You be really eating that up. Dang, you're so good at that. She's so good at that.
And you know, this season 2, Memi gonna take it. She gonna take it this year. I promise you. She gonna take it this year.
Miss Jackson.
Miss Jackson.
You ever seen that meme where the girl be looking like?
Oh, yes.
Like
For those of you who are audio, Memi's making all types of faces saying that she's not, but she is. Like,
yeah.
Can y'all hype up Memi, please? Like, she be eating when she wants to, and I want her to eat on our intro. I would love that for us. But yes, thank you for rocking for us. I'm Dr. Lara. This is Memi, and we are your hosts of Chats from the Peak. And so we're going to get right into it. You know, it is January, and Memi, every year, you know, people just, oh my gosh, New Year's resolutions.
New me.
New year, new me. Every year's New Year, new me.
I'm gonna lose that weight.
I'm gonna lose that weight.
I'm gonna get that job.
And then you want to start in January and then be off before January 31st.
Literally.
Yeah. So
because it be cold. So it's like y'all always want to start going to the gym when it be cold. Like, we live in the DMV. It's cold.
It's cold. It's cold. It's cold. It snowed like once or twice. So yeah, it is cold, and we want to get away from New Year's resolutions, and we want to talk about goal setting.
Yes.
We think that we want to reframe the idea that we have to start a new year, new me. You could be the same person and just put better goals in place.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I think it's so important for us to talk about this because it is the top of the year. You know, if you were able to watch our end of the year wrap up, you know, Memi talks about, you know, just having January being that just like reinvigoration that you might need to kind of get your year started. And we think it's so important to do that with a game plan. You know what I mean? Like it's great. Have all the ideas and resolutions and businesses you want to start. But one thing we have learned in doing Marriage Pinnacle is if you don't got no strategy,
dead in the water.
Dead in the water.
You're not gonna make it out.
Looking and trying to get somewhere
lost.
Just lost. So it's important for us to have some goals. Mems, why?
Yeah. So like when we talk about setting goals, the importance of goals are just so you can feel like, okay, I'm moving towards something.
Yeah.
You have an end goal in sight, and then that kind of motivates you to do the work to get there.
Yeah.
There's this really good meme that I've seen going around, and we'll post it. We'll post it on our page. Sure. But it kind of just is an example of like setting goals, long-term and short-term goals. And I feel like it's just kind of one of the things that just powers you through life. Because a lot of us have gotten to the point where we just feel stuck, or we've had seasons where we just feel like, oh, nothing's working. I'm setting goals and I'm not getting anywhere. Yeah. And there could be reasons for that, you know. So we're gonna delve into some of that today. A lot of times when people have goals, we put a number on how much money we want to make every month, right? Like, and it seems so far reaching, but so sometimes your goals can be so big that they become overwhelming or even debilitating. Yeah. Like you can have such lofty goals that you're in your mind. We start off the beginning of the year with like that, you know, New Year's dopamine, and like halfway through the month, you're just like, on second thought,
where the dopamine at?
On second thought, that might not work. Or you get slapped around a couple of times and you just decide like, I'm going to have to forget about that big goal. So like we want to talk about how to make your goals sizable. So break them down into quarterly, monthly, and even weekly portions. So that instead of looking at the big picture like, oh, I want to make X amount of money, it's like, okay, what do I need to do to get there? And then you kind of work your way back. So if I want to get there by the end of the year, this week I should do this. Week 3 I should do this. Week 4 I should do this. And then also we're going to talk about how to tailor your goals to sort of my personal goals, like what Memi wants to do for herself, goals in my relationship, what me and Dapo want to do together, or what I want to achieve with him, and then also kind of family goals. And that's just basically like bringing in your kids, bringing in your nuclear family, your parents, your sisters, your nieces and nephews into your goals. Like, do you want to take a family vacation, or do you want to help your mom with a couple car notes, or, you know, what do you want to do? What are some of the goals you want to do that incorporates your family at large?
That's good. That's real good, Mems. Thanks for that. And I think that, you know, the importance of goals are that they lay the foundation for your year, for your future as a couple, individually. And when you don't have no goals, I'm a Bible girl, so I'm going to use a reference. You like the Israelites.
In the
wilderness, right? But then you know the goal is the promised land.
Yeah.
But at the first sign of struggle, you like, you know what? Let me go back to Egypt. Let me go back to Egypt. Let me go back to bondage.
Better off in the struggle, actually.
The struggles.
At least they was feeding me.
At least they was feeding me. At least
I had a meal every day.
At least I had a meal every day. And so you don't have no vision. You don't have no plan. And so goals help give you that. You know what I mean? And so we don't want you out here in the wilderness, just lost. We want us to set up our year right so that you know where the goal, you know where the finish line is, and you know the steps that you need to take to get there. And so one thing about us, you know, as we can personally attest to, we have big goals. So for me, we're both dreamers, but I'm the one. You see that moon up there? That's in arm's reach. That's close. I can grab that. Memi is the one who says, Lara, I love that for us.
No, Lara, because it's funny. No, because I would say something that I think is a big goal. Like, I would say, I feel like we can release these cards in the next 3 months. Lara be like, I feel like we could do that in 2 weeks. I'm like,
why not tomorrow?
What do you mean, sis? Tell me more.
Yeah. So and I think, again, this is where partnership is important because sure, release the cards, but there's no plan.
Yeah.
We need a plan. Yeah. And I think that, the goals are great, but let's turn our desires into goals that are realistic and can be met. Yeah. And then how can we as a partnership, how can you with your husband and husband and wife come together and encourage each other along the way to keep at your goals, to rework them when they need to be reworked.
Yeah, because that's important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes they need to be reworked.
Yeah, and then also encourage each other when you do reach your goals and how do you get to the next goal. So
and celebrate the wins.
And celebrating the wins. And celebrating the wins. That's really good as well because that, positive reinforcement is surefire way to keep going. Yeah. When you got that positive reinforcement, it just makes you want to work a little bit harder. Yeah. So if I say, Mems, you look really, really nice today. You lose some weight. And I hyped this one up last year and I was like, girl, what's going on? It's like your neck is looking a little long. What's going on? I'm seeing the cheek. I'm seeing the
Hello, please. I'm shy, please.
Seeing the cheekbones. I'm seeing the collarbones. And that would be, at least to me, motivation to at least keep doing what I'm doing.
Stay away from 240.
If you watched our episode,
if you know, you know.
If you know, you know. She's far away from 240. So,
bye.
So if you at least need a little bit of positive reinforcement, that's going to motivate you to just keep on going.
Yeah.
And so that is what we want to set you guys up for this year. And these might be things that you already know, but what we're doing is reinforcing it.
Yeah. A reminder.
It's
refresher,
a nice little reminder for you to keep on going. Yeah. So one thing that we want you guys to look at, so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about a method that we encourage you guys to use. And then we're going to talk about kind of the different domains that you can use to break up your goals. And then talk about how the alignment of the couple is going to help you kind of get towards those goals. Prime example, and very quickly, if I believe for our business that the goal is money and Memi does not, we will not have aligned. We don't have an alignment in our vision for our business because I'm going to do whatever I feel like is necessary to make money. Right. And that could compromise the values that we have individually towards our business.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah, because if I feel like, hey, whatever's going to get us a quick buck, let's go do that. Yeah. And you're like, no. Yeah. This doesn't align with us.
Yeah.
It's going to cause issues within our goals, So the goal setting stage is so important to set your year up for success. And there's so many different ways to go about this, but we're going to talk about a really common way for you to structure your goals, and then we'll kind of we'll go into some other things as well. So something that I use with individuals in therapy are SMART goals, right? And I think the SMART goals, it's used universally in business, in therapy, in education. It's just universal because it really is a way at the smallest level to think about an idea that you have, a vision that you have, a desire that you have, and turn it into something that is tangible.
I love that.
Right? And so when you think of SMART goals, it's an acronym. SMART stands for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound or time-sensitive.
Yeah.
Right? And so when you think of a goal, right, or you think of a vision, let me throw something out to me. Anything.
I want us to make $20,000 a month.
Okay. So I want us to make $20,000. We are going to make $20,000 a month. I'm putting that out there in January. This January, 20K. 20K in the bag. All right. So I want to make $20,000 a month. All right. Specific. The number's there. I want to make $20,000. So that's the specific part. How am I going to measure this how am I going to measure what needs to happen for us to make the money? Does that mean, so that means I need to add to this amount. In what way am I going to make this? Am I going to do that from sales of our cards, sales from our merchandise, sales from a speaking engagement,
ad revenue?
What is that going to look like?
Yeah.
That goes all into being specific and measurable, right? Then is it attainable? With God, all things are attainable. Let me tell you that.
Possible. Amen.
Everything is attainable. However, we also need to be realistic, right? So, if we have not yet had a close to 20K year, 20K month, not year, 20K month, we might want to scale back on that number, right? Yeah. So again, we know, and the thing is, we're joking about it, right? But we know that there are these moments when there will be spikes and things like that. Yeah. But we also, the thing about goals is you want them to be things that you can actually work towards, right? And so the thing is, it's always good to aim low and hit higher, right? Yeah. But you don't ever want to you don't want to aim so high that you're never making the mark.
Exactly.
Because it's discouraging, number one. And then that positive reinforcement, you never get it, right? Yeah. So you always, and even in therapy, we always recommend that you give goals that the client can meet. So that gives them that bit of that juice to keep going to the thing that really is you want them to get the low hanging fruit. Yeah. So that when they have to reach a little bit higher and it takes a little bit more work, they have something to step on. So it's the same thing with your business. It's the same thing with your marriage. It's the same thing with your family, whatever. Really you want things that people can actually hit and then aim so that they can aim higher and reach a little bit higher, right? So is it attainable? I might say, for me, I'm going to be like, maybe it's attainable. Maybe going to bring me back down to earth and be like, Lara, maybe let's start with 5K. Let's just do 5K. Let's do 5K, right? And then if we get 15, if we get 20, we good. But let's not aim for the 20 so that when we only make the 5, it's dang, we ain't made our goal. Because the thing is, we also won't be able to recognize the win. Yep. We won't be able to celebrate the win because we didn't show our gratefulness and gratitude for what we did achieve, right? Yeah. So then the realistic, so that ties into the realistic part, right? Is the goal realistic, right? And then time bound. So you also want to put a time frame on this on this goal. So Memi has said, I want us to make 20K within the month, right? So it might even be more measurable if you maybe even break it into weeks, right? So there are 4 weeks in a month, and say, so each week we want to have a minimum of 5K. Right? Yeah. 5 times 4, 20. Yeah.
And then another layer to the time bound is I want to do this by October.
Correct.
Right. Or I want to do this by blah, 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 blah. So setting a time to the time.
Yes. And so the thing is, right, for the procrastinators and the listeners, I don't want to raise my hand because I feel like God has delivered me from procrastination. Amen. I have to speak things as if they were. You got to say it.
Claim it.
Even now, even though it might still be a struggle, but because God is redeeming.
Amen.
I'm no longer a procrastinator. So for those who are procrastinators and
those of
y'all who are procrastinators, and the month, technically you could get the 20K in a day. Yeah. That's not really what we're trying to say. We want you to be able to measure okay, week 1, I was able to make this. So think about it. If I have the goal of making 20K in a month and I break it down to weeks and say 5K. And so I realized in the first week I only made 3. That means I need to catch up.
Right. Correct.
I need to catch up with my money in order to get this 20K. Yeah. And instead of waiting to the end of the month to try to scramble and get the 20K.
Yeah. And I think what's good about what you said about that weekly breakdown is that you realize that when you're trying to attain the goals, there's habits that you need to build along the way. And the habits need to come with you on a daily and weekly basis. Because in order for you to hit these kind of goals, and I'm sure we're going to go more into the breaking down of the task, but it's you have to, there's certain things you're going to need to do on a daily basis. There's certain things you're going to need to do on a weekly basis.
Correct.
In order for you to reach the goals.
Absolutely.
So I think that's what helps about looking at your goals from a weekly basis, is that every week you're okay, did I do this? Yeah. So if I didn't do this, then how am I? I'm not moving towards.
How am I sustaining this for the rest of the month?
Yeah.
You're not.
You're not.
You're not. Yeah. So that's good. That was actually really good. Thanks. So, so that is SMART, right? SMART goals. And so when you're thinking about anything that you want to do, have that helps you reframe the goal that you have. I want to lose weight. I want to lose weight. I want to lose weight by the summer. How much weight do you want to lose by the summer? Is there a size that you want to be?
Yeah.
Because I want to lose, even if you say, oh, I want to lose weight by June, how much weight do you want to lose?
Right.
5 pounds and 30 pounds, you have lost weight,
yeah.
but that is a significant difference.
Yeah.
I want to be toned in what areas?
Yeah.
I want to be consistent in the gym. How many days a week do you want to go?
Do you want to go? Exactly.
How much time do you want to spend when you're at the gym?
Right.
Is it incorporating more cardio? Is it incorporating more weight training? What do you want to do? Is it realistic? If you have never gone to the gym in your life,
going 5 days a week,
and going 5 days,
you're fooling yourself.
You're probably fooling yourself. Again, there are always outliers. There are people who get up and do it, and they do what needs to be done.
That is true.
But those are exceptions to the rule.
For sure.
You're not on the bell curve. You're not in the normal part of the bell curve. You are on the tail ends, okay?
Not the tails on the bell curve, please.
Of the bell curve. You know what I mean?
Shout out to the people that love statistics.
Come on now, not me, but I know the bell curve. You know what I mean? So you want to make sure that you are in the norm. This makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that your goals are specific, as detailed as you can make them.
For sure.
As measurable as you can make them. As attainable as you can make them.
Yeah.
Realistic, and as time-bound or time-sensitive as possible.
Yeah. And I really enjoy SMART goals. Not so much for work. I hate doing it for work. But personally, in my personal life, it's a great way to take a step back. Because like you said, a lot of us live in Delulu land. And we can't help it, right? It's just human nature, especially when you're a dreamer like us, or you're just someone that's always always in your head about all the things you can do.
Yeah.
Things just kind of go around.
Sprinkled in the
just all over the place, and you're just like, oh yeah, I want to do this. Oh, I want to do that. I want to do this.
That sounds good too.
Yeah, let me do that. I would love to run my own Fortune 500 company and be a
tomorrow
next week. And so it's you have all these visions for yourself, but I think SMART goals really snaps you back into what is possible with my bandwidth. Yeah. We're working moms, right? So there's certain things that we could probably do faster if we were single and fresh out of college versus now. So it's there's so many things that you have to be realistic with yourself, and it helps with one of our favorite words, which is self-awareness. It helps with self-awareness. And this is also set yourself up for success, because at the end of the year, you want to be able to say, oh, look at all my little SMART goals. Yeah. Oh, I did this, and this. And even if you didn't do everything, you still saw progress. You still saw movement. It is so encouraging to get to the end of the year and feel like the things that I said I wanted to do this year, I did that, and I did even more. Yes. Or I did a fraction. Or life tried to take me out this year.
But
because some people have years like that. Where
fighting for my life.
Fighting for your life. But you still did this and this and this. It just gives you hard cold facts that you
data.
Data that you can kind of just really power you through, because y'all, life be lifing. Oh my gosh, we're not going to go down too many rabbit holes, but talking to just our friends in our age range, and you just hear the different things that people are going through on a daily basis. And it's you your own self. You have your own. But then we have big friend groups. So it's when we talk to all of our friends, they're just bruh.
Life is lifing. Yeah.
You're just asking God, thank you, God, for life. Thank you for this. But help all these people. Help this person. Help this person. Help this person. Because people are really going through things.
That's
true. I think goal setting, it just helps you to kind of see. It kind of helps you to see through all the muck that life throws at you.
That's good. Good. So, we want you to think about, as you set your year up, as you're thinking about your year, we want you to kind of think about your year in domains, right? And because we think holistically, one of these domains is going to speak to you, right? Mm-hmm. It's either going to be emotionally, financially, spiritually, socially, or physically, that you're going to have a goal, right? it's one of those domains, right? And so those are what we say our domains, the marriage pinnacle domains. And so one of those buckets are going to apply to you, right? So this year you might say, I want to be more intentional about spending time with my spouse and kids. That's going to go in a bucket. That's going to go into your emotional and even in social bucket, right? That could be a double whammy or whatever, right? But something along those lines. I want to bring in more income. I want to bring in X dollars more a month. That's in your financial, right? So that also ties into maybe you having to decrease something in some other area in order to make room for the finances or whatever the case may be, right? So your goals are going to fall into one bucket. And then again, we talk about self-awareness and introspection all the time and being introspective emotionally, right? I need to work on my patience. That was that was a major goal for me last year, was really recognizing that I wasn't as patient as I thought I was, and being very intentional about raising my voice.
Sorry. I'm gonna laugh every time. Sorry.
That's how we start the year? Oh, wow.
Lara, please. Like, today's not a good day. Sorry.
How is it not a good day? Every day is a good day.
Every day is an amazing day, but...
So,
I really tried so hard not to laugh. But you have gotten better.
That's what that was the goal.
Better. You've gotten so much better with the voice.
That was the goal. Memi, you cannot join and group together me already just having a domineering voice with me raising my voice.
Exactly. There's no correlation.
This is abuse. Oh my God. This is abuse of the highest order. No, I'm sorry.
Zion and Levi would definitely testify. Like, she don't yell as much.
Memi, that's what I said. You've
gotten better. I am agreeing. Because I know we talk about you yelling on so many episodes, so it just always makes me laugh when I think about.
But you know my kids, though. Like,
I get it. I do.
You know my kids.
But like,
stop.
But no, sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. One thing about us, we won't go off topic. But when I see how Zion behaves, I see that she loves it. Zion enjoys it. Like, Zion lives to make you scream. Like, she loves. Like,
thank you.
Like, she'll literally be on FaceTime and Zion would be in the background smiling while her mom is going crazy. And she'd be like this. Like,
I just need y'all to feel my pain because my kids find joy in my elevated octave.
Levi be chilling, but Zion lives for it. Zion be like, yeah.
I did that.
We gonna tap dance today. Tap dancing on every nerve. Like, she loves it.
Zion, yeah.
And they're like best friends.
That's
so
my
it's
bestie.
The funniest thing.
But
they are besties.
But that girl,
I just can't wait till she's older because I don't see it changing.
I don't either. It scares me. I'm not gonna lie. We're not gonna get off topic too much, but
sorry,
it does scare me.
No.
Because
it's gonna be a
she
thing.
Been like this. You know Zion since she was born, and nothing has changed.
It's gonna be a thing, Lara. Like, when I tell you that she'd be joyful. Like, you'd be like, Zion, go to bed. And she'd be like, I'm not tired. Like, she is so funny to me.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
love her. That's my girl.
Whew, okay. Praise God.
You doing better, though.
All that to say,
Work in progress.
I do believe I have tried my best to lower the octave that I raise my voice in.
And that's your emotional.
And that's the emotional, yes. And I feel like patience-wise, yes.
Yeah.
Patience-wise, I feel like I have worked at it, and there's still more work to do, which I don't feel like I can acknowledge that. Yeah. But I do feel like I recognized it, and I have taken intentional steps to address it.
Good job.
So thank you for laughing, but all good. So thinking about the domains, so thinking about the physical, the spiritual, the emotional, the financial, and the social. Think about your goals in that sense. And we recommend that you really put at least one for each, right? So there should be at least one for individual, at least one for couple, and then the couple and the family could be joint, right? But having something in each domain, we think really sets you up for success, right? And it helps you to categorize the areas in which you want to focus on for yourself.
Yeah, like think of it like a matrix. Like I know everybody's not an Excel girly like me, but
Excel.
Excel girly. But across the top, you can have emotional, financial, social, physical, and one more.
Say them again, sorry.
Emotional, physical, spiritual, emotional, social, and financial. That goes across the top. And then on the sides, you can have your individual goals and you can have your couples goals. So you kind of have a goal for each category going across. So it would be like individual under finances. It's like, I want to save $1,000 for myself. Couples financial would be, I want us to have $2,000 joint, or I want us to save enough money to take a family trip.
Correct.
So that would be like your general goal, but then you now come and make them smart.
That's good.
So we're getting into the mechanics, I guess, of how to do things.
And that's a nice visual. I think one thing that's great about Memi is that it's when it looks visually pleasing, it helps you track it so much easier. For me, it's so easy to say, oh, I have it all up in my head. But then when you need to recall it, you can't. So that is such an easy way. Even if you're not an Excel spreadsheet girl, you could do it on Word and literally have the same columns.
We can make I can try to make a template.
Yeah,
and we'll
a free template. We'll make a free template.
We'll make a free template and we'll add it in the link so you can download it.
Yeah, easy. Yeah. And that's just a way for you to help track your goals individually and then as a couple and family. And we just think that that's a nice way. And so for us, the piece that we don't want to just make this episode, goals in business. We also want to add we want to make sure that we're touching on the piece of like your values and alignment, right? So we talked about that very, very briefly at the beginning of the episode. So we think it is important that you incorporate the alignment, because when you have alignment in your goals, you both are more likely to reach the goals, right? And so when we think about alignment, we're thinking about your values, we're thinking about your morals, we're thinking about your belief system. All of those things are going to help assist in the couple's planning. If we go back to the example that I talked about earlier, if the goal is I have the idea of money being the driver and Memi does not, when it is time to maybe pursue a partnership or pursue a brand opportunity that doesn't align with Memi, I'm more willing to maybe close a blind eye to it because the driver for me at the core is money, and hers is more so like the value. Like when we read the mission of this company, it doesn't align with Marriage Pinnacle's brand. It doesn't align with ours, but I'm driven by money. And so it's easier for me to close my eyes to that and push forward. And she's not. So now I'm having to drag her along.
Yeah. And this is just hypothetical.
This ain't us. Really us. Trust me, that ain't us. No, not at all. One thing we got is alignment, baby. Okay. Come on. One thing we got is alignment, all right? But the one thing, which is a blessing, right? So one thing we do have is alignment, but that unfortunately is sometimes the case, which you see in couples where when you have differences in alignment on certain things, me pushing my partner or my partner pushing me along becomes the chore, and then the actual goal is not being able to be met.
That's right.
I
think a good example.
Yeah,
Can I
give
one?
Please.
It's like, for example, a stay-at-home, a woman that's been a stay-at-home mom, right? Her individual goal for this year is that she wants to get back in the workforce, right? That's an individual goal. That's her values. Her value is in her working outside the home. But then now she comes to her husband and she said, hey, I want to get a job, and that's one of my goals for the year. Yeah. And her husband is like, I don't really need a wife that works. Yeah. So that is a misalignment of values, right? Because he values a woman that stays home with the kids. She values being a working wife. Yeah. That is a misalignment in values, and that's something that needs to be worked through. That's something that needs to be understood. I'm sure there's going to need to be some compromise there.
Correct.
But that is a mismatch of values directly. So it's like that's going to be a hindrance for her off rip. Yeah. Because I know someone like that, and it's like, yeah, you can go get a job. And I think I said this on the podcast before. You can go get a job, but you got to pay for daycare. Yeah. So it's like you've made her goals harder because she now has to make sure she has a job that can cover daycare and make it worth what she's pushing to do.
Yeah.
So
That's
it can be
good.
tough,
Yeah,
you know,
that's so
if
good.
you and your partner are trying to have goals and you have significant values or beliefs that just don't align.
That's so good.
So that's why we talk about aligning of values, because it does make it easier to reach goals individually and jointly.
That's so good. That's so good. Yeah, and that was a really good example that I really don't feel like I need to even provide another example. But we want you to think about that. And so that's the part that it makes goal setting different in this regard, right? Because we are talking about goals to you all, right? And so like we shared, we have goals for Marriage Pinnacle, right? But individually, and that also plays into our business goals, right? How we plan for our year individually and with our families separately directly impacts our business, 100%. Right? And so there needs to be alignment. And the thing is, you know, bringing it full circle, because our husbands believe in our vision, it allows Marriage Pinnacle to work, right? So like recording episodes, having like, if there's one car and one person needs the car, we've literally had to experience this. Like where Memi is like, oh, her husband, Dabs, is like, you got the car, I'll figure it out. My husband's like, I'll take the kids so you guys can record. That is direct alignment with our vision for our business. And because they believe in it, because on the flip side, what you driving to Crofton, Maryland got to do with got to do with me. I need the car.
I'm supposed to pick the kids up.
I gotta pick the kids up. I gotta do this.
Like we were able to be consistent because they were on board.
They were on board.
More than once.
More than one time.
Paula has had to leave the house.
He's left the house with the kids.
More than once I've had to leave the upper responsible for the kids pretty much all day because we record all day.
Yeah. So like literally that is like alignment outside in our respective homes in order for our business to work.
And I'm sure a lot of womenpreneurs that are married.
I like that.
Womenpreneurs that are married and have families. You know, I think a lot of you guys will be able to testify that it's impossible to run your business without your husband being in alignment with you, you know.
Yeah. Unless you have a husband who's actually in the business with you,
right?
Yeah.
And same for men. Same for men that want to have businesses. If your wife is not holding down the fort, what you doing?
What you doing?
You ain't gonna do nothing.
What you doing? Nothing.
You ain't doing nothing.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So alignment is so important. We want to make sure that we touch on that piece because the thing is, you might recognize there might not be alignment, and so here's a perfect opportunity to get on the same page, right? And so I think that perfectly segues into like, when do you want to goal plan?
Right.
So clearly, it's January.
It's already January.
It's January.
It's not too late.
It is not too late. You know, these this could be something that you've done at the end of the year. But it is absolutely, and even if you're watching this episode after January, it is never too late. You can just, maybe it's not goal setting for the year. It could be maybe goal setting for the quarter, the next few months, the month, or whatever the case may be. But it is important that you goal set as early as you can to visualize where you want your year to go, right? So myself and Memi have to we will have to make sure we stretch out and determine what each quarter is going to look like for us. Things that we've already started to talk about, but making sure we have a visual roadmap for what each of our quarters are going to look like in order for us to meet the goals that we have for our business. And so when you're able to set your year and visualize where you want to go, it makes breaking down the quarters more digestible. It makes breaking down the year more digestible, which helps break down the quarters more digestible, which helps break down the months more digestible, which helps break down the weeks more digestible. And ultimately, that is what we want you guys to do. And we recognize that sometimes the year is just too much. I can't think.
I can't do the year.
I can't do a year. I can't do a year, and that's okay. So maybe you might say, all right, what does my first half of the year look like, right? So you're talking about years. I mean, you're talking about months 1 through 6. So you're talking about your January to June. What do you want to accomplish in those months? And then breaking that down by quarters. So Q1 and Q2. And then from Q2, you're now breaking down what your Q1 is going to look like. And that's where you get into the meat of it, right? That's where you're getting into the stand-ups. Myself and Memi, we have a stand-up 3 times a week where we talk about, okay, for the week, these are the things that we want to accomplish. These are the things that are still outstanding that are going to carry over into the next week, and so forth and so on. And we meet with our admin and we kind of hash those things out.
And that's the only way stuff gets done, y'all. Because we've been doing this for a few years. When them stand-ups go away, so does our work ethic. We don't get nothing done. Like so even with our weekly meetings, we'd be like, oh, we need to do this. But, again, like life gets so busy.
It does.
And
it does.
It's just a testament to how much of a big deal it is to reach goals and actually get these things done, because you get so dredged down and picking up the kids, dropping the kids off, going to church, going to work, clocking in, getting my work done, then whatever extracurriculars, kids got sports, we trying to do other, it just you lose track. By the time we meet the next week, it's like, what was I supposed to do?
What was my task for?
Or then we up the night before, like, let me get this done because Lara ain't finna. She ain't finna be looking at me sideways. Let me do this the night before. So the daily stand-ups or the check-ins, it really is. Yeah. It really helps move
the needle.
Down
move the needle. Absolutely. Absolutely. And so that's what we want for you guys. And again, we don't want you. Our girl Joycey, she does say your home is your business, right? Yeah. And so you can operate your home like a business, and there's nothing wrong with that, because with a business you have order, you have strategy, you have structure.
She
right?
has SOPs for her
she has
nannies,
SOP
her
for
chef.
her nanny. Again, she lives in Nigeria, but she's able to do that in order to run her home, and that's why her home runs successfully, right? But so we're not telling you necessarily to run your home like a business. However, we're saying when you model it that way, you're able to provide structure, you're able to provide routine, you're able to provide like things that are now commonplace into your life, so that even though X didn't happen today, because you've been on a routine, because you know the structure, it happens, right? Mm-hmm. I take the example of my kids, right? When I was trying to initiate them into like praying before they eat, it was a chore. And again, they were little, right? And they just want to eat their food because they're hungry, right? But having them pause, having them sit, having them, all right, now do this. And now it's like second nature to them, right? So even if I'm not there, it still happens. Yes. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And that is what we're trying to get us in the habit of, is like, if the goal is to get my kids to pray before they eat their meal, what things are you putting in place so that it can become routine for them, so that they are able to do this without you being there? Yeah. One thing that I implement in like leadership coaching, and even one thing that was told to me, if something cannot run as effectively if you are there or not, you've not done your job as a leader. That's so good. And so we're not saying our husbands versus us as leaders. We're talking about the leaders in our home, the leaders together partnering with our husbands in our business. Yeah. If there are certain things that we cannot do, like if I can't entrust that this happens if Memi's not there, then we don't have a system put in place. Yeah. It's not an effective. Yeah. It's not an effective system.
And that's hard to do. That's
hard. It's very hard to do.
It's hard, but it requires that daily work, that weekly work, that quarterly work. That's like kind of what we're talking about.
Correct. Here, and so that could be the goal that you have, is to get something running to the point where you don't need to be there, or in your absence. And you want to do that by the end of Q2. Right. That could be the goal.
Right. And that might not work if you got the babies, y'all. Don't be trying to get your 1-year-olds to be self-sufficient.
We ain't saying that.
Like, let's not do too much.
Yeah, please, not too much on the babies.
Not too much on the babies, please. But I love that though.
Yeah, and for us, we will always say, we understand that, like, we're talking from a theory, right? We're talking from best case scenario, right? We know life happens. When unexpected things happen, it tends to throw things off balance. Yeah. When life be lifing, it tends to throw things off balance. When, unfortunate circumstances happen, it throws things off balance. But we're just trying to put certain things in your mind to think about, so that you can put structures in place, so that the blows aren't as bad to your system, because you have certain things put in place.
You're building shock absorption.
Yeah, come on, your shock. Yeah, the shock's right. You're able to withstand the turbulence a little bit more, because you have certain things that you put in place at the top of the year. Yeah. Does that make sense?
That's so good. Yeah, I really like that. I really love that that analogy you just gave of like how it helps you stand better through the storms. I love that, because it's true. Yeah, like Dapper always calls it the 7 P's. Proper planning prevents piss poor performance.
So can you say with a little bass in your voice, please? You was trying to get the P's, weren't you?
I had to make sure I said it right. Proper planning prevents piss poor performance.
That's 6.
Oh, double. Can you write in the comments what it really is, please?
Oh, that's not it?
I don't know. Maybe I thought it was 7. Can you please?
Proper. Say it one more time.
Proper planning prevents piss poor perform. Dang, that's not 7. 6 P's. Dang.
6 P's. I was gonna say that sounds right. It sounds right.
There can't be an extra P, right?
Yeah, it could. I mean, it might have been something in there, but Daps, let her know she's right.
Let her know what it is,
please. But I really like that though.
Yeah.
If you want to plan, you got to plan to get the best performance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's just mandatory.
Yeah.
So
and having a plan A, plan B, there's nothing wrong with that. Like if this doesn't work, then we can reroute. We can do this. And I think it helps you be more agile when you have a plan to begin with.
Correct.
It's harder to reroute and like think on your feet or come up with something different when you ain't have a plan in the first place.
Facts.
Right? Because then you double lost. Because you're like, I already didn't know what I was doing. Or I already was just out here. Now I'm really out here.
Yeah, agreed. So. And you just mentioned agile, and I think about, not me going back to my PM, like them days, but I think that even with the sprints, right? Mm-hmm. Like working in waterfall, AKA just picking the work and doing it as it comes, versus like, this is what we are doing for these 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. And this is what we're sticking to. Yeah. And if I'm adding anything into it, I'm taking something off, helps you, right? Because I think for us, that happens very, I'm not claiming ADHD for you. You say it all the time. I'm not claiming that for you. But I think that you always say like, oh, this is good, this is good, this is good, this is good. But what you do for us though is, Lara, we have to prioritize. Yeah. We have to prioritize. Like, okay, I get there's so many things that we can do. Yeah. We could do a lot. Yeah. But we need to prioritize. Yeah. And one thing I talked to, and this is in tandem with the goal setting, right? You need to also recognize that there's going to be a lot of things happening at the same time.
Like it's never going to stop.
It's never going to stop. And so you need to prioritize like what is important and urgent against your goals as well. So that's another added layer. So we're not trying to overwhelm you with the goal setting, but we do want you to think about a couple of important, as we wrap up, some important gems to take away, right? So as you are planning your goals, right? We want you to make sure at the end of the day that you're doing SMART goals. Mm-hmm. Number 1, right?
Number 1. That's the biggest thing we want y'all to take away today.
Please.
If you are making any goals for the year,
make them SMART.
New Year's resolutions, we rather call them goals. Yeah. Make them SMART.
Make your goals SMART. Number 1. Number 2, what domain do your goals fall under? Mm-hmm. And is there alignment, right? Do your goals individually align with you? Do they align with you as within your spouse and your family? Your goals should be aligned and fall into one of the categories. Yes. Number 2. And then number 3, we want to make sure that how you're breaking your goals down. So the goals that you have they been put into a system where you're tracking your progress? Mm-hmm. So is this a year-long goal? Is this a quarterly goal? Mm-hmm. Is this a semester goal, half of the year versus the other half of the year? Is this a monthly goal? And if your goal is too big, what is the best way to now break that goal down so that it is manageable, right? Mm-hmm. But then again, and so Memi described, and we're gonna link a free goal setting sheet for you guys in the comment section. But then lastly, we want you to also prioritize your goals, right? And for me, the prioritized matrix that I typically share with like patients and clients is your importance over urgency. So literally 4 quadrants: low priority, low importance, high importance, low urgency, high urgency. And what does that goal fall under? Mm-hmm. Is this a goal that is important, but it's not as urgent. So AKA, it's important for me to lose weight.
Right.
But it's not unless you got an event.
I'm about to say, I don't got no weddings. I don't got vacation, yet, birthday trip.
You know, just yet. But my goal is to just feel better. It's a lifestyle. I want to make sure that I'm losing weight gradually. I'm okay. Versus, it could be the same goal of losing weight, but because I have a wedding.
It's urgent.
In 2 months, it's urgent now. It's urgent. I got to get on it. I got to do all the things to lose the weight.
Yeah.
Versus, I just want a lifestyle change and I want to feel better. I want to take my time. I want to gradually work out. So instead of me having to work out 5 days a week, maybe do 2 a days, I can work out 2 times a week and be consistent and change my eating habits. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So that is based on high importance, low urgency. Versus, again, I need to lose the weight for the wedding.
So that's priority.
That's in where we think the girlie's going this year.
Sandro Pay.
Sandro Pay?
Yeah, South of France.
Santa Fe. That's probably, we said it here first. They done in Como. They did Portugal. They did Barcelona. They went all over.
I definitely have a Portugal wedding this year.
Yeah, Sandro Pay. Yeah. Might be the hot spot. So, I have a wedding in Sandro Pay and I gotta give the girlies content. Yeah. It's in 3 months. I'm on a timeline. It's high importance, high urgency. Yeah. And obviously we're teasing, but we want you to also prioritize your goals as well, because that's gonna help you determine, like, I got 20 things on this list. I've categorized all of them, but now I can kind of preference what I need to tackle first versus second versus third.
Yeah. And I think all the tips we've given you is just a way to not only foolproof your goal planning, but also make it not overwhelming.
Correct.
Because I know that in the beginning of the year, again, like we said, in the beginning of the year, it's all roses, right? It's all like, roses. Oh my God. Well, I speak for myself. Beginning of the year, I'd be like, oh my God, New Year. Oh, I'm so excited. So excited. I'm going to do everything this year. I'm going to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. Like, I really have all these things I'm going to do this year. But then literally by like the end of the month, I'm just like, So about those things.
What those things?
I'm just going to focus on staying alive.
I ain't fighting for my life. This shit's gonna stay alive.
I'm just gonna focus on keep it real calm. Because why? Because my goals were too big. Yeah. My goals were overwhelming. Yeah. I feel choked.
I didn't break them down enough.
I didn't break them down.
That's good.
Life comes and smacks me around. Yeah. But it's like doing things this way, especially when you write them down, you can always go back and you can always remind yourself and you can always get re-inspired. Yeah. So
that's good.
Yeah,
that's good, Mems. So we hope, again, that this episode sheds some light on setting your year up for success. We already said individually, as a partner, and as a unit, Marriage Pinnacle, we got some goals, and we need to see these goals accomplished.
Yep. We need your help.
Yes.
So comment, subscribe, share with your friends.
Come on.
Tell people about us. Tell a friend to tell a friend about Marriage Pinnacle.
Come on. If you want to speak at your conference, if you want to speak at on your panel,
call us.
We're your girlies.
Stay locked in. Join our email list so you know all the things we have this year. So you can see our goals. So you can see our goals manifest.
Firsthand. Getting the discounts, the promos, the first to hear things that we're doing. Yeah. That's all tuned in for this year. So we hope this episode was helpful. We want you to remember that marriage is not stagnant. It is a climb. And we want to keep climbing with you. Yeah. So this has been our first episode of Chats from the Peak Season 2. Woo. See you guys next time.
Bye. Love you guys.